do you just kick yourself sometimes and just go, this is unreal? Like, you know, what's the conversation you have? Or did you always see this coming?
You can't foresee anything, bro. But I've always said to the guys, and people ask a similar question, that I believe for it to be as big as what it is today, I had to believe it 13 years ago, and I always have.
Yeah.
So we're no bigger today than we were 13 years ago in my head. Okay. Visually and physically, we're much bigger now. We are. The numbers say so.
Yeah.
But in my head, 13 years ago, no. So, no, I don't. There's no real like pinch me moment or anything like that. It was back then we're the biggest, and I think I had to carry that and think about it like that, talk about it like that before it could become that. Because you know, if you can't even visualize it,
and so, what's your advice for, say, someone who is in the beginning of their own journey, right? With that kind of mindset, obviously everybody has self-doubt, and there's so much hardship that comes with, you know, being the man in the arena in a sense, right? And actually, you know, starting something and sticking it out. Like, what kind of advice do you have for someone who they've either just started a brand or they've just started a business and they've just started their journey? Because I feel like I'm reading a book at the moment that I've read a few times, and it's called Think and Grow Rich. But
you've got to action it as well.
Huh?
You've got to action it.
100%. But
you
I
can't
think
just sit around thinking about
it starts with that belief, because the second that you have that self-doubt, it comes out in everything that you do.
100%. Fuck advice, man.
Just what kind of mindset you know? Like, what are the lessons that you've learned over the journey that have helped you kind of stay the course?
Oh, I don't know if I stayed the course the whole way. Look, bro, I could go off on a tangent, man, but just start. Just start, stay consistent, and put the fucking work in. And when you feel like you're there, aim 10 times higher. Because you can't just sit around thinking, oh, I'm going to get there, without putting the work in. And if you think you're working hard, you're not. Work fucking harder, aim 10 times higher, because it really takes everything. You know what I mean? You've got to put everything you have into it before it's going to work. Like I say to the boys, you've got to want it as much as you need to breathe when you're underwater. You know what I mean? You know that moment you're underwater and you're like, fuck, I really got to get to the surface because I need to breathe. That want, you need it.
That hunger.
You know what I mean? And if that's not there, don't waste your time, man.
But there's a lot of brands, and I've done it just conceptually, you know, you over-conceptualize. Sometimes you overthink. Sometimes you over-plan. And Jake's always like me when I'm a big planner. You know, I like to be organised. Sometimes he will just pull me out of my desk and go, let's go, let's start, you know, but I will add to that is, you know, have a who, what, and why. So who you are, and this is something I feel like we're very strong on. And who we are changes, but I love that part of it. But who you are, what you do, and why you're doing it. And it doesn't always have to be a complex answer. And you see it in fashion a lot. Everyone straight out of fashion college or conceptualizing anything with that wants to be fancy. They aim to do eccentric, alternate, and then they might end up just doing something more simple or approachable. It doesn't have to be a crazy idea. It just has to be an idea that you know very clear what to do with and why you're doing it. And it can evolve. But as Jake said, you just need to start.
I'll back that, but well before that, bro. Like,
this is where
this is why I wanted you all on the thing,
99% of the time it changes.
It's my day-to-day.
So
no, but it can evolve.
Like, the first plan doesn't matter. Your first idea of cool. Just fucking start. Because I guarantee in 6 months' time it's going to change.
Oh, yeah.
The plan's different.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
It always does.
You're going to be your wings are going to be clipped. You know, you're not going to have wind in your sails. And that plan that you spent 6 months writing, and you know, got a business plan and all this shit. Shut the fuck up. Just start, because you're gonna be off course sooner than you realise. You're gonna be derailed sooner than you realise, and you just got to keep moving forward, man. So before the ideas of this, you know, have a real sense of who and what you want it to be. I wasn't designing like this 6 years ago.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It evolves, it changes, but literally just start, bro. Just start. Before anyone was a professional boxer, they had to start. You know, before you were on a podcast, you know, you had to start.
I think just failing
you
forward is probably
just start. and stay consistent.
Yeah, 100%. And I can attest to that, even just with this podcast in general. Like, if you look back at where we started,
Oh yeah,
it's not what it is now. And you know, even myself as an interviewer, it changes a lot. So I can definitely attest to that, 100%.
Do yourself a favour and scroll deep into the GEEDUP Instagram and you'll have a laugh.
Laugh,
I
yeah.
like to leave it up, but so people can see how
the
far
journey.
it's come.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
You know what I mean?
You guys said something before about loving what you do. And I wanted to discuss this in terms of a concept or a few kind of moving parts of, like, you mentioned before, you love what you do and you've managed to have some success at it. But then you also mentioned, and a question that I had is, like, how all this comes together in terms of what do you guys value, you know, in terms of people, right? Like, and core values, you know, is that something you guys actually speak about internally, like core values, or is it more that you bring people in that already show those core values in a sense?
Are you
Like,
saying as staff?
yeah,
Or
staff,
collaborators?
just community culture, but like within the company, within staff and so on, because in order to build a brand, it's not necessarily just what goes out on social media and stuff, it's internally what happens as well. So, like, a mixture of, when, you know, like, obviously you've got a team now and a great team. When you kind of thought about bringing people on board, are people coming on board and then it's this talk about values, or are you bringing people on board that share the same values?
Yeah, it's we run really lean for that reason. Look, I'd like to have another 10 people in my office, but I'd rather have someone come in and sharpen their skill set that fits the glove
Their knowledge.
than have someone come in with a sharp skill set that doesn't fit the glove.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So no, we don't talk core values, and it's not like there's a
Yeah,
list
yeah,
written
yeah,
on the
yeah.
wall or anything like that. I think it's pretty evident what values we have and what, you know, what the culture is in the office. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you know, we've had conversations before, me and Take all of us, about, you know, what music artists we want to align with and what athlete we want to align with. And big or small doesn't matter really, as long as they talk and walk the same language. Do you know what I mean? Same work ethic, same work ethic, same morale. You know, all of that. If that fits, then I don't care if it's your first fight or your 100th fight, if it's a world title or it's an amateur fight, or it's your first EP or it's your second album. Do you know what I mean? But giving that opportunity, I think the most important thing you can do for someone is give them a platform and an opportunity to make some money. You know what I mean? As an artist in the creative space, there's so much talent out there, and there's not the platform. You know what I mean? So I love using the brand as a platform for that, to expose that, and then also support that as well.
Everyone's they got to get it, right? They got to get it from the start, culture and
Yep.
stuff. Like, we're working with a range of people now as the company's growing, and some of the consultants, they did get it. They might not know everything from the start, but they might get maybe it's what I was saying before, the why we do it. They can go, okay, I can see that. You don't need to know about streetwear or come from a certain background, really. Like, me and Jake grew up together as kids, but we've always been different people, very different people. We dress differently. We share a lot of common interests. But I think even with Joey and Yaz and even Creasy and we're all different in our own right, naturally, but we challenge each other. But what we all have in common is that ethos on how we approach work. Individually, you might do it differently, but we share that same vision in the why we do it. And I think we've grown in the last 3 years by challenging each other. You know, me and Jake have our discussions and with love and heat, but that's the reason why we push.
It's lovely to watch.
So it's not just about having everyone that thinks the same. Yeah, it's about having people that have that value, and how can we challenge each other to bring the best out of that.
And how important is that to the operational side of the business, right? Like to that, because you talked about the brand building, and I'm sure it plays a massive role there too. But in terms of you guys, you kind of mentioned it before, you're always challenging that next level. Like, how do we get from here to here? how important is that you all share that same mentality and the role that plays in helping you always take that next step?
Oh, so important. Just as important it is, you know, like it's like having a football team that isn't working together. It's not going to work. Do you know what I mean? So I think of its utmost importance that we all share the same vision and know how important it is that we're all moving in the same way. You know, and we don't all the time. Fuck, I'm the worst for it. I'll disappear on him for a week. Come back like,
I thought we lost him this morning. To be honest.
And he wants to talk about planning the next 3 weeks, and I've got my head in the laptop trying to design hoodies, and I'm going to talk about other things. So we don't get it right all the time. Fuck, no, we don't. But
I think I think the beauty of it is honestly like the biggest thing that I think is underestimated is the balance of our personalities, the balance of that, and the balance of like who we are. Like, you know, some positions that we're in, our personalities fit that role, and the balance that we balance each other out. Like, these two are the total opposite, and I see them, but it works magically.
Yeah, we'll go, man.